Enough, Franco. I can't take it anymore. I'm going to run off with the first one I meet.
Good morning, channel friends. I'll get to work right now, okay? So Emma, today we're going to show exactly how to create a beautiful tile wall without actually having the tiles. Because we got a little tired of these coverings that go out of fashion after a few years and bore us. When they install tiles, they tend to leave the walls like that. And they must be interchangeable walls, washable. And if someone gets tired of the color or the stencil or any type of molding, it can be easily changed. So we apply a first coat of Magic Wall sugar paper, and then we'll show you how we proceed with the magic. Let's start. Emma and I have a medium-sized wall. How many meters would that be? Did you measure before for?
It's approximately 3 meters and 80. With that little corner, it makes 5.
Okay, about 5 linear meters by 3 meters in height. We'll do this wall and that little wall over there with the sugar paper, right? We use the Merlino brush because it's really fast and easy to use in the sense that it has nice stubby bristles, a good reservoir, and for us, it's super easy to finish this wall by lunchtime because I want some well-made spaghetti. So let's take hold of the brushes and we'll use the can right away. We've already stirred the paint beforehand to be a little bit quicker with the work since we have cardboard boxes around and a bit of a mess. So we've already poured it, but I'll still maintain the paint in motion because by leaving the stick in here, we'll give it a stir. Remember, if you want to have the possibility to touch up the walls over time, never water down the paint. Magic Wall performs at its best when used pure, because it is water repellent, washable, and also mold resistant. But if you dilute it, when in a few years you go to touch it up because you've scratched the wall, in that case it won't be possible. So never dilute the paints. So, shall we start? Yes. I load the brush well so that the reservoir inside is nicely full of paint. This color is beautiful for the walls, and I start applying it with a very light, very smooth brush stroke without any problems. I will use this measuring tape because from here to here there will be a surprise in a bit. So Emma, now I will go ahead and remember to mark it with the tape. You measured it before, right? Look how beautiful the sugar paper is. It has blue pigments, obviously, but also a slight gray tint. So it tones it down. It's not just a simple light blue. It's a very, very nice light blue. Of course, here we are applying a first coat on new walls. So these are smoothed walls that have received a coat of classic white wall paint. So today, I will apply Magic Wall for the first time. The brush stroke is very smooth and fluid, and I'm not worried about how I'm applying it because I don't want to go crazy over smoothing or anything else, okay? Always remember that if you do what I just did, when the paint starts to dry, instead of covering it, you will remove it because it's already drying. So when you start painting lightly, don't worry. Just start coloring and keep going slowly without thinking too much about where and how to color. It is important that we always connect to the initial section where we first applied the paint, ensuring that we can gradually and evenly expand the colored area. When the brush starts to dry out and has nothing left to give, don't insist on covering, because it's often thought that you can save by diluting the paint or stretching it a bit. That's completely wrong. The less we spread paint, the less we dilute it, the less we scrape the bottom of the can with the brush, and the more it covers, the more costs are optimized.
Here it is important to be very precise where there are the outlets.
We removed the outlet cover and are using the brush very gently and smoothly, without staining the electrical product. See? This way, there's no need to use any paper tape and we get it done even faster.
It's absolutely beautiful. It covers a lot and I really like this color shade when it dries.
What do you think?
It's beautiful. It adds light.
The first coat is almost done and it has actually covered very well. There's already a complete light blue background, very, very nice. I will definitely apply another coat. Always pure, remember not to dilute it, otherwise the patches will be visible. We apply the second coat of paint on the entire wall. In some spots, it might not even be necessary. But since these are the first coats of paint this house is getting and we're transitioning from a completely white to a color, it's good to apply 2 coats so it looks nice and full.
It spreads fantastically. Remember, when doing the second coat, you usually use much less paint than in the first coat. Also because the wall is smooth and absorbs much less.
So there is a saving. Let's make the mixture for the stencil. I use Materic Cream and add a little bit of Magic Wall Dark Sand. I chose dark sand because I really like combining dark sand with sugar paper, and even though it will be a veil, a slightly sandy tone, it will absolutely take away the overly white color of the Materic Cream, which I definitely don't need today. So I thoroughly clean the entire jar well because I will absolutely use all of it for this project.
And I carefully add a bit of dark sand to the mixture. It's important to remember that adding too much color can cause the cream to become excessively runny. Therefore, proceed with caution.
But it's also a good thing, indeed, because there are, for example, months of the year when it's very hot, and adding a bit of Magic Wall to the Materic Cream helps extend the drying time. So the Materic Cream doesn't dry out, giving you more time to keep it nice and creamy while working it onto the surfaces.
Today, I have to work vertically because I need to create a pattern on the wall, so I can't have a Materic Cream that's too liquid.
But look, I got an absolutely perfect shade, and it's still really nice and incredibly creamy. It's not too runny. If you want, you can also use the spatula to help mix it really well. This way, you'll finish faster, and you'll have the perfect thickness as well as the perfect creaminess. Now, let's get organized and start with the wall. I absolutely love the tiles in my house, thanks Emma. But those are real tiles, handmade one by one. And I have no intention of duplicating either that expense or that work on this wall, but I will absolutely do it much more cleverly with this stencil that I have called La Cucina di Elisa. Very original. The tile is actually the exact same size as the one in my house, and it will reproduce this raised textured mosaic effect. And it will be quite fascinating because people who come in will definitely go closer and try to see where the tile grout is, and they actually won't find it. So I start from the corner because in order to reproduce this design on the entire wall, I need it to be perfect where it intersects here. On the right and left sides, the overlap must be absolutely perfect. So, to avoid mistakes, I should start from here. Emma, you measured earlier, and what height do we need to reach?
85 from below.
All right, so please go ahead and tell me at what height I should stop.
All right, come on down now. Go, go, go. So you're at 86, just a little further down. Okay.
Emma and I are carefully taping the end of the cement tiles because we want the finish at the top to be pointed and precise. So I would like to have the whole tile. Why? Because not all kitchens have cabinets at the top. For example, in this kitchen, there will only be 2 small cabinets and a cooker hood. So it's ugly to see, for example, how here the trowel only makes half cementine, half tile, and it's the same on the sides. We want to make sure that every tile is completely filled, and therefore, if we do only half, as we often do on furniture, they might dry at different times. What does it mean? That you might see the step, and I don't want to sand it. So, we mask the side parts and the top parts, so that when I spread the textured paste with the spatula, I won't dirty anywhere. With approximately 10 repetitions of this stencil, we will make all the tiles. So just think about the savings. Now I take my Cenerentola spatula, which is the perfect small spatula, to create these slightly textured effects, a little bit of my textured paste mixed with Magic Wall, and I start with the fun. It is crucial that you avoid smudging and ensure the cream does not get underneath. At the moment, I am applying it a little smoother, and so it shows slightly underneath because I will wait for it to dry completely. This will help me, when the first layer of Materic Cream is slightly dry but not completely dry, to apply the textured paste a second time. This way I'll be sure it doesn't drip underneath and I'll have a thicker layer. So I do the first coat and then in a few moments I go over it a second time. It dries really quickly, also because I set the air conditioner to approximately 22 degrees Celsius. So we have dry and warm air in this house. Always remember that it is not so much the temperature but the dryness of the air that allows us to dry walls, furniture and other things more quickly. Okay, look at how it is drying the first coat. So when you apply a second coat with the Materic Cream, the tile will come out perfect. So the trick, even when working vertically to avoid dripping, is to apply a light first coat almost empty to create a gripping base, and then give it a second coat that is perfectly filling.
Let's remove the stencil slowly. Emma, stay there, please, and let's see if I was precise. Obviously, we won't wash this stencil right now since we'll use it again on the other side. What do you think?
Yes, indeed. All right, if you keep going like this, I will go to the very top and take care of the highest part while trying to avoid any smudging.
Nice. Do you like it?
A lot. Do you like it, Franco?
I really like it a lot. Also because you can't tell that it's not cement tiles but a stencil. I definitely love it. I'm definitely glad I didn't make this half tile because now it will be much easier for us to reposition it using this as a mark to align with the rest. I used very little Materic Cream, and I believe with 2 jars I can do everything because the magic wall extends the drying time significantly. Now, Emma, you continue from this side, I'll continue from this side, and we'll join this tile to move forward this way. All right, let's continue. You see, we have repositioned the stencil in this way using this side. Now, with the other stencil, we have 2 to be quicker. Emma will continue without removing the tape on this side, and I will continue on this side. As you can see, this half tile that has already been done is going to end up with the other half. It's very important when you're doing this to join the stencil tips together as much as possible so that you can't see the difference once it's assembled. Take care. It's a good eye catcher. Beautiful. The join is perfect. Do you clean it? Yes. Okay. Stencil finished? Yes. How many repetitions? I think 12. Because in some parts we prefer to overlap the stencil a bit and go a bit slower to be more precise. We did this to avoid smudging, so sometimes we overlap it a bit more. It was very nice because this stencil, being very wide, makes the work a lot easier. Moreover, we only used up 3 jars of Materic Cream, and that's great because we created a very thick textured surface with just 3 jars, and the surface itself is quite large. Now let's protect our beautiful decor. The wall is already very well protected because you know that Magic Wall is water repellent, washable, and it will handle a lot of humidity and splashes, the moisture from condensation. So if you have houses that have walls with insulation cladding and double or triple glazed windows and doors, you know that in this way you will be protected from a lot of flaws due to condensation, poor window opening, or air recirculation. So I highly recommend Magic Wall for these reasons as well. Additionally, it is washable, has a fantastic scent, and is very, very pigmented. So the color covers excellently and lasts a long time. Now we will protect the small mosaic tiles made with Materic Cream. This is essential because we still need to wash the tiles when we cook. I apply the Satin protective paint. I like it to match the wall, so the Magic Wall is semi-satin, and we will make the tile semi-satin as well. I added 20% water to the Satin protective paint, put it in this white tray, and I will use it with the roller. I will use the new roller that has a microfiber nap, which spreads the paint without leaving marks. It makes the surface velvety, and you definitely won't see the roller marks at all. Make sure to use a very small amount of product. You see that I let it drain very well because this particular bristle holds quite a significant amount of product.
Put a little bit, you see, I drain it well and then protect.
Emma helps me hold the stencil still because when I use the roller, there's a risk it might lift slightly. Actually, I'll do 2 coats with the roller because I want it to be well protected, but I have to wait for the first one to be completely dry. Look, it's not hard for me. I don't make any kind of effort. I just go over it once with the roller. The new roller snap helps me get excellent coverage. Look at how it doesn't create bubbles or leave marks when spreading. And it's really fast. Over here, which is on the side, I lay it diagonally. Here, did you see? It's easy. By using this roller, you will definitely realize that it truly provides a very contemporary finish. In fact, you can hardly notice the mark of the support. You don't notice. Something was missing. Here I realized it was missing only because I saw it slightly lighter. Here too. Of course, it's normal that on small tiles, where I will apply a finish of this kind, I prefer to give it 2 coats of protective paint, so that even if you use the sponge with soap in the future, it will be more protected. So now we remove and voila, I did everything, but you can hardly see it. I don't think I forgot anything. Okay, let's remove the stencil.
There you go. Now, let's continue.
If you need to move the stencil to continue protecting, make sure to dry at least the first rows with a hairdryer, so it doesn't make a mess. This makeover is also finished. Half finished.
We still need to place the cooktop, which is essential for our kitchen. The sink is still missing, and the cabinets need to be hung properly, but that's not up to us. Fortunately, someone will come to do it. This is a kitchen that has been redecorated, and what we were most interested in, apart from saving the furniture and still making it look good with the wall, which was deliberately chosen in a few darker shades to make the kitchen wall unit stand out, was to make the whole thing look nice and fresh, right? Without the costly expensive tiles. There are times when we put tiles on, they are beautiful, and we are happy to put them on. There are times when we want to avoid them for economic reasons or for reasons of dismantling the ones that are there. Change them. Be aware that if you want, you can create a wall covering with a fake tile.
I think it is appropriate, it fits the environment, however, is a modern design but sophisticated, not cold.
And I like it because it's like my house. Tell us in the comments if you liked it and what you would like to see in the next tutorials. Subscribe to the channel because it is important for us.
See you at the next makeover. Goodbye.